Hello everyone, Lavertius Gaming here. I am doing a Retribution Paladin PVE guide today. I'm also going to do a PvP guide, but I thought I'd do a PVE guide today. I'll be going over my talents, my glyphs. I do use a couple macros that can be quite nice. Stat priority and just a basic rotation. So, Ret Paladins are very powerful right now. I have been playing a Ret Paladin for several months now. And I've built my class around how I like to play. This is just a basic guide. I would say build it according to your play style, but this is just what I use. So for my talents, I use Long Arm of the Law, because it's really nice, especially in boss fights. You can get out of stuff really quickly. Speed of Light is okay, but it's on a huge cooldown, and it only does it for 8 seconds, whereas this is a lot more utilized because you're casting Judgment so much. Next, I like Fist of Justice. A lot of people will go Repentance, and that could be nice for CC, but Fist of Justice is really nice for, like, actually in the fight. So you could go back and forth between these two. But I do like Repentance for CC. Selfless Healer is by far the best choice here. It can help your healers, or you can heal yourself, either way. But it's just, every time you cast Judgment, reduces the cast time and mana cost. So it could be really nice, and if you get 3 stacks, then it's an instant. Plus, it will increase its effect on others by 20%. So if you don't need the healing, then use it on somebody else, and it'll get a big chunk of healing. For my level 60 talent, I like Unbreakable Spirit. Clemency has its basically you could build your class 2 different ways with these 2 talents. Number 1, Clemency, you could build it more utility based, because your hand abilities all now have 2 charges. That has its uses, but if you're going straight up survival based, then Unbreakable Spirit is definitely better, because it reduces the cooldown of 3 of your main, like, protection abilities by 50%. So I really like Unbreakable Spirit. For my level 75 talent, I like Sanctified Wrath. Some people will go Divine Purpose or Holy Avenger, and it's pretty much interchangeable. But I like Sanctified Wrath because it reduces the Hammer of Wrath cooldown by 50%. And Avenging Wrath lasts 50% longer, so that means a lot more damage done. I like Execution Sentence for boss fights, and then Light's Hammer for trash, because Light's Hammer does a big AoE, Execution is a single target. For my level 100 talent, some people will go Empowered Seals. I've never really liked Empowered Seals at all. Seraphim is by far the worst choice, because it's so power hungry, because it costs 5 holy power. So it's just not worth it. Final Verdict is by far the best choice for this talent, because it does the same damage as Templar's Verdict, but then it increases the damage and the damage of your next Divine Storm by 100% and its radius by 50%. So, with Divine Storm procs, if you do Final Verdict and then your Divine Storm procs, then it does twice as much damage as it was going to originally. So that could be quite powerful. Next are glyphs. I like Glyph of Templar's Verdict, because it just helps out a little bit with raid utility. Hand of Sacrifice is really nice, especially if you're using it on, like, a healer or something like that, because then you won't have to worry about it all being transferred to you. I have Glyph of Divine Protection as well. I sometimes take this off if it's a magic heavy fight, but for most fights it's going to be a physical fight, especially for up close with Ret Paladins. So I like that, because it reduces the amount of magical damage reduction by 20%, but adds 20% physical damage reduction. So instead of 40%, it's 20 and 20. Or 40% magical is 20 magical, 20 physical. Minor glyphs are completely up to you. I really like Fire from the Heavens. It's really cool. Luminous Charger, it could be cool. Wing Vengeance, I just like that. It's completely up to you. As for macros, some of these I use for PvP, but for my main macros that I use, I have Prot, Cast at Mouse over Hand of Protection. So if there's someone that I'm noticing is going down really quickly, then I can hover over the party member and then click on it, instead of actually having to press on that person. It could be a little. There are times when I put it on the wrong person, but it's more likely than not gonna work. I also do the same thing for Hand of Sacrifice. Let me see. For stat priority, you want to stack as much mastery as possible, because whenever you do your main abilities, then it will deal whatever your mastery is, additional damage as holy damage. So the more mastery you have, the more damage you're going to do. After that, haste is nice until around 15% haste, because that's around a good area. And then after that, it's either multi-strike or critical strike, but not both. One or the other. But stack as much mastery as you possibly can, and you'll do a lot of damage. I'm just going to go through my basic rotation. What I do is I go in, I run in, I cast Exorcism, then Judgment, then Crusader Strike. Then I cast Execution Sentence and go ahead and pop Avenging Wrath. Because if I wait until I have 3 Holy Power to pop Avenging Wrath and then use Final Verdict, then you're doing a lot of damage, and then you're utilizing your Avenging Wrath a lot more than you would if you just popped it right off the bat. And then I'll Fist of Justice unless it's a boss fight, which you can't Fist of Justice. So yeah, I'll just do it in real time, really quick, just to show you how I do it. By the way, you will want to use Seal of Truth, because you get censure on it, which is really nice. All right.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Ah! I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
But yeah, that's just a basic what you do. Use stuff off of cooldown. Sometimes it can be kind of nice if you know that there's a big damage phase coming up. Like on Korag, if he goes into his into the middle and he takes increased damage, I would save your cooldowns for that. Otherwise, on most boss fights, you could pop them right off the bat, pop them off of cooldown. But fights like that, I would save your burst for a phase that they do more or they take more damage. But other than that, for your blessing, you want to use might because of mastery. But other than that, it's pretty much, it's fairly simple. It's not too complicated. Leave a like, and if you like this, comment what you want to see next, what class you want to see next, either PVE or PvP, either. Subscribe, and until next time, take it easy.